in 3 months. Well, you had to do it publicly?
He's not. No extraneous comments. You can leave the room. Mr. Watts, you please finish your remarks. Steve, that's not appropriate. We'll talk to...
Neither was his response, sir.
All right, so please proceed.
I don't know what country Mr.
Okay,
Sriracha.
that's all right. Just proceed with your remarks, Mr. Watts.
No.
Okay, I don't know what country you live in.
Please proceed with your remarks.
So,
or you can sit down.
okay, well, I was interrupted. This was our opportunity tonight to compromise and come up with a good compromise where everyone could work together. I was at 7, but I felt like this would have been a good opportunity to come out with 9. And if it's majority vote, then I obviously have to live with it. But I thought this would be an opportunity for, all the parties, the different factions to come together with a vote of 9. So I'm going to support the 7, and I hope that my colleagues who believe in compromise would vote for 7. Just because it has to be a way that we get to a point where our party begins to heal itself, work through the divisions, and try to do our best to put a good unified ticket ahead and into the head of any kind of turmoil. And I'll be the first one to say, if the party felt like even if I compromised to it, if I actually participated in any kind of way, I'd be the first one to come off the field. And my thing is this: we can do better heading into the future, and not allow the things that tear down our party continue. So I'm hoping that we just go ahead and vote for 7.
Okay,
thank you.
You might as well say generally, if you have comments, they go through the chair. And one of the reasons for that is a lot of people don't feel comfortable speaking if they're going to get commented upon or hissed. So please, let's respect everybody's right to talk. Comments come through the chair. Everybody gets their opportunity to express an opinion.
Thank you for letting me speak. I apologize for anything that happened earlier, but then again, I did not make the first comment. I was simply defending myself.
Just proceed.
As far as, and the hissing continues, we're talking about numbers. Mr. Mangiacopri mentioned how we have dysfunction and leadership that doesn't work, and that things should change and things should be different, and we should work together to make those changes. I find it very contradictory then that we're staying with the number 7, considering that's where all the dysfunction lies, a lot of it, and that's exactly why we're having problems. So to increase the number, whether it's 9 or 11, makes complete sense from a logical, mathematical point of view. I am going to reiterate, I am taking complete feeling out of this. It has nothing to do with me, whether I agree with someone or not. It has to do with the numbers, and everybody knows the more numbers you go by, you usually come to the right conclusion, mathematically. And that's basically what it is. To keep it the same exact way is basically furthering what Mr. Mangiacopri is saying that we're not furthering. And I don't understand that point of view at all. And I just wanted to make that clear to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The party is not working at the size we are today. It is very dysfunctional. And by letting new people, new energy, new business skills into it, it's progression for the Democratic Party and for the city of Norwalk. And anyone who's taken the podium tonight, that's the #1 concern they should have. Someone who ran for mayor of the city of Norwalk should be fully in support of moving Norwalk forward. And David Watts...
All comments go through
Oh, okay.
Do not address other speakers. Please, let the chair handle it. Please. Nora, it's inappropriate for you to address any other speaker directly. All comments go through the chair.
I apologize.
You have 1 minute left.
The comments for District A, I mean, one of the battles that took place in District A and will continue to take place in the next election is the fact that there are certain people who feel they want to control the environment and not let new ideas, new people, new energy in there. And it's wrong, and it's inappropriate for the city of Norwalk.
All right, please. I'm trying to
Thank you.
control the debate. David, please. Please. I'm going to ask people to leave if they can't control themselves.
Trying to take over my district.
Please. Mr. Burgess.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say I was a little disappointed.
Please listen to Mr. Burgess.
I was a little disappointed in the last vote because we weren't being voted for compromise. But so be it. Now the vote for 7, I'm in favor of that. The action we are taking tonight will tell us whether we can work together as a party in harmony or whether we can work as a party split with each other. I don't see no compromise on the other side at all from the first vote. And this vote will probably go the same thing. So I ask you guys to make sure that we do everything possible to keep the party together and work with this party. We have a mayor running for election, and we don't need any splits. The first split was at 11 votes. I'm very disappointed. But I hope that we can keep the town committee at 7 each.
Thank you. Eloisa?
Hi. I also want to thank the Rules Committee for everything that they've done, and I just want to speak on this as one of the newest members of the DTC. This is my first term, and I've only been able to vote since 2012, so pretty new to this in general. But as someone who has wanted to get other people involved in the party, I am in favor of 11 because last time when we had these DTC elections, there were other people, in particular in my district, and I know in other districts, who wanted to be members, but unfortunately couldn't because of the 7. So I think 11 is appropriate, and I didn't vote for the 9 because I think the 9 would just take care of a couple that wanted to be, but the 11 would allow some others that want to be but also new members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Frazier?
Ron Frazier, I voted for the compromise. I voted for the compromise because I feel it's important for us to work together. What I don't see in this room is I don't see respect. And that's mutual respect. I think that it's very important that we step back and we think about how we treat each other. We treat each other badly. We treat each other like a dysfunctional family. And for me, I'm like the canary in the coal mine. Tension is my enemy. And it makes me crazy. It makes me shake, and it makes me not functional. And this is just an example of what it's doing to us as a group. And we need to calm down. We need to take a breath. We need to not call each other names. We need to just work together. We're Democrats. We have an agenda. Our agenda is to help people, to change this place, to make it a better place for our children, and we all share that. We deserve respect, and we should grant respect. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair agrees with your comment. Mr. Stern?
My name's Doug Stern, for the record. I know a lot of people in this room. I'm not a voting member of the DTC, but I'd like to be. I come to all the meetings. I have fairly good relationships with people in here. And I've read through the proposed changes, and objectively, in my opinion, all of the substantive changes seems to address openness and accessibility to the DTC, and I think that that's a good thing, objectively. Now, there are clearly people in this room, and the history probably predates most of the people in here, who feel slighted, who feel that they're not being listened to, and that's a very sad thing. So no matter what happens today regarding this vote, and objectively, I've read it and I've thought about whatever sides, it makes sense objectively, in my opinion, to expand DTC membership. But if people do not feel included in the process, or they do not feel involved, it's an enormous morale problem, and it needs to be addressed by everybody. It's not an individual's fault, and it's not it's all of our faults, no matter when we came in here. And I just think that no matter what happens with the vote tonight, we all should be better listeners. We should all do our best to empathize with where other people are coming from. And we should do whatever we can to make being a Democrat in Norwalk a pleasurable and a supportive experience.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Dr. Henning. I just wanted to say, I just walked in when we were about to vote for the compromise, and I can't understand for the life of me why folks wouldn't want to compromise. Those of us that wanted 7, we voted for the compromise. Those that wanted 11 did not compromise, have consistently been unwilling to compromise. So that's something I have a problem with. When the vote was made for the 11, number one, it was listed as a discussion item, and I brought this up on the same night. The date was wrong for when the actual meeting was, and then on top of that, one of the statements that the chair gave was, who cares if we can't get a quorum when we increase the numbers? We need a quorum to do action. So if we're increasing the size to a number where we know that we might not be able to get a quorum and conduct business when we do change it, why are we doing that? I just don't understand that logic. More people will be on the DTC listed, but will they show up to the meetings? That's whole nother thing that we need to think about. I thought the 9 option is an option that we let slip away, and I thought that was a good option. I'm going to vote for the 7, and I hope that in the future, folks can compromise on the DTC. So, thank you.
Diane?
Just briefly, I voted for the compromise after thinking long and hard. I think we need more people on the DTC. As I said before, it has to do with how we are treated and how, with a mechanism for governance, that we feel that there are apt and enough information up front. I want to thank this committee because finally our rules were done after at least 12 to 15 years of many of us trying to help whatever town committee chair and officers were in place, oftentimes to silence. So I thank this committee for finally doing it, and of course the final details are tough. I wanted to just suggest that based upon some of the discussion back and forth, is that we have to look at, I just make a recommendation that we have, after tonight's meeting, plans made for a retreat. Others have mentioned this before, because we have a lot of discord amongst us. I just don't want to leave on the table the reason to increase our DTC is not because we only had 7 dysfunctional people. I believe it's because no matter how many are on each district, you have to treat them with respect and have a good mechanism for governance. The 7, many of us, including myself, have requested things and made suggestions only to be met, and I'm not talking just about this particular chair and this particular executive committee ad hoc, but over the years many of us become discouraged when we are not given the opportunity to help our party. Either we don't get phone calls back from some of the leadership on things that we care a lot about, and that's very discouraging. It disenfranchises us. So I think we have to make a move after tonight for planning for a retreat with neutral parties, organizational psychologists or managers from universities. We could probably do it pro bono. The State Central Committee, I'm sure, could assist us, but we are in trouble no matter what number we have. And I think civility needs to get started after tonight. Thank you.
Martha?
Yes. This is my first year being on the DTC, and kind of like my second year kind of being involved with my district. But when you come to these meetings and you see things that happen like this, it kind of like discourages you to just back away. We're grown people here. In every organization, no matter how many you have, it could be compromisable with one another, or, as the gentleman says, just a lot of tension at all times. So it doesn't really matter how many people you have grow your district, and if they want to become members of the DTC, then you don't choose the same person every term. That's how you get involved. You don't grow just because more people want to come into the DTC meeting, because it's not going to matter if their mindset isn't there. And also, if you don't listen and you don't learn to compromise. District
Please,
E.
Martha, please address me
Oh, I'm sorry, District E,
without mentioning anybody's name.
D, B, Darien, Rowayton, South Norwalk, East Norwalk, whatever. We all have to compromise. Because what's going to happen? This Democratic committee is going to go absolutely nowhere. You're going to end up having the same old tension. So whether it's 11, 7, or 9, you have to learn to compromise first.
Yeah, I think we're,
So request a brief recess from you before I vote.
well, I'm inclined to hold it to grant it if you think it'll be a constructive purpose. He doesn't have to answer. I think we have to have a little bit of good faith in each other, and, you know, it's a reasonable request for a couple of minutes if you think it's going to be constructive. I think we've had a lot of debate and are kind of ready to vote, but if you want to recess, I'm not going to deny it if you feel it could be constructive.
I would appreciate it.
Is there
You would have 2